Okay, you have your team set up. The game is almost ready to start. You get a hand of cards. What do we do with them? Well, in the off season, you have some events that you can play. And looking at the deck of cards here, it's broken up into two sections. You have your off season, which is at the top, and your in season, which is at the bottom. The game starts in the initial off season. Think of it like spring training. And the events that can be played can affect some different things. Your roster, money, different farm system aspects. Nothing about winning or losing games yet. We don't play spring training. Don't worry about that. Some of the events are good. The good events are denoted by a green border. Green is good, right? We also have a symbol there, a star. We did take color blindness into account. So a star is good. These are cards you want to play on yourself. So for example, your farm system moves players up. So automatically I can turn a prospect into a phenom. I can turn a utility player into a prospect just by playing that card. And that's good, so I want to do it to myself. Another example, play in front of you. At any time, I can purchase additional media cubes, so I can hold more. Or, play in front of you. If I don't do a particular action, I score victory points. So different cards can score you points as well. Green is good, play them on yourself. There are also some red events. So for example, here in my hand I have one. This says, Media Reports Off-Season Concerns. Pay $1,500. Well, I certainly don't want to do that, but my opponent might. I'll give it to him. He'll pay $1,500, and he'll smile at me while he does it. Now, some of them you might have to think about. That's why the blue comes in. For example, free agency. Play on one superstar or one all-star. Well, if during the beginning of the game there are no superstars and there are no all-stars, why would I play this? So I would have to think, do I want to play this or not? I can hold on to it and use the season event later. Or minor league testing, all teams affected. Roll the die to check to see if your farm system gets caught using steroids. And if they're caught, you lose a phenom or you lose a prospect. Well, if I have a weak farm system already, I might not want to hurt my farm system anymore. But if I've got a really strong farm system and my opponents have weaker farm systems, I might be able to take a chance then, because that's all a die roll is. It's taking a chance. Now, during the family game or the beginner game, a lot of times it's been suggested that we only play one off-season card. With more experienced players, we've played where you continue to play cards until you pass. And that's a very important mechanic in this game. When and if you should pass. Because when you pass, no one can play a card directly against you. For example, this $1,500 fine, if that player had passed, I can't play it directly against him. He's safe. But he can no longer play cards against anyone else. That's the drawback. Okay? In the family version, everybody plays one card and we get right into the game. Either way, the game is pretty rich in theme and flavor. If you were to stop my father or I and ask us about a particular card, my father more in particularly could tell you a story about every event. Every event has some kind of background to it. Even the small Media Reports Off-Season Concerns pay $1,500. He'll make up a story and tell you, that's where we came up with that. So there's a lot of theme involved, but again, you don't have to be a really hardcore baseball fan to really appreciate it. You can just say, oh, I have to pay $1,500. I get that, I'll glare at you, and we keep playing. But the theme is pretty strong in there. Once everyone passes, the game goes into the early season. Spring training is over, and we're going to get ready to start playing real games. We'll show you how you do that next.